So today is July 23rd, 2023. This is a picture here of our cattle pasture. We put the cattle on here in the winter time, and they've been out here for about 3 weeks grazing. They grazed it down. They haven't been on here for about 2 weeks, and it's a drought this year, but we have had some rain, so it has come back a bit. We'll carry on and we'll show you some other stuff here. So this is part of our field. The cattle were on here till June 1st. The grass, we're lucky if it was this high. It was about as high as my foot is to the weed there. We hit this about a month ago with a shot of 46-00. It worked out to about 30 pounds an acre of actual nitrogen on it. You'll see later where we did and where we didn't do. If you follow this way, come this way. This is last year. There's a clip last year of this. You'll see the difference. Like I said, June 1st, this was like barely ankle high. The cattle had been on here since breakup. We moved them off. You can see the clover coming. There's a lot of red clover, a lot of alsike, and we've had a lot of that white clover. You can see still immature clover. We'll probably harvest this the first part of August. It's almost ready to go, but now we got to wait on the weather because it's been dry all May, dry all June, and now we got showers almost every day, intermittent rain showers. You can see the alsike clovers come. We don't plant that, it just comes. So it usually comes in wet years, but it's really come this year. So. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Reed Canary on some of our land. This hasn't been fertilized since 2019. It had a lot of clover on it in 2020, and then the clover died off, and then the grass really jumped up. You can see there's still a bit of clover. This is sort of wild clover. We can go around the front and we can look at some brome. Now we come to brome and Timothy. We never even actually planted any brome here. Said, and what we do use generally for fertilizer, we usually use a gypsum mixed with potash in it. We actually don't use much nitrogen fertilizer
Anymore, that is.
Yeah, but this is all going to go for horse hay. So that's why we're working on it on the 10 days of summer. Done. You can see the alsike we just walked through here. When we were fertilizing, we went up and down, like where that quad is. But over here, we didn't do any fertilizing. This is where the cattle were in the winter time. So you can see what's growing here. You can see the taller grass growing over there. It's all starting to head out. It's fairly thick here. Like I said, in the first part of June, there was nothing here. it looked like a total write-off. You want to shot here for the grass. See where the cattle, there's still some residue left over. When we go to cut that, we just lift our machine over that stuff, and if we're raking, we'll just rake around it. Healthy. Okay, we were great. We had a fence here. This is where the grazing stopped. If you look down here, you can see the difference. We also, on this side, on the north side, we didn't fertilize this. So you can see the difference. This is about the poorest part of the field. The other field here, up over the hill, is an older field, but it's good. It's got, it was fertilized last fall with gypsum and potash, but no nitrogen fertilizer. But it's not too bad, all things considered. But this is about the poorest on the fields. You can see where it's green. That's where we went with the bale buster. In the winter time, we did a big circle with the bale buster. So you can definitely see where it went. You can see some old stuff. This is a poor growing area. You can see it's all burnt there. Yeah, this was planted last year in oats. This is its first year. You can see, that it's been knocked down by, we've had some real heavy showers, we're right by a drag strip, so that's what you hear, these characters. But anyways, yeah, you can see the clover here. This is going to be taken off as silage, round bale silage. Ever since we switched to clover and that, we were saying to my son there's way more birds, way more bees, way more insects than just a straight grass hay. They really like the flowers. But you can see you can look to the north here too. You can see farther down, there's where it's a little bit wetter, you can see there's a bunch of reed canary planted there as well. So, but this should come pretty good. But this is all red clover. There's a tiny bit of alsike. Again, we didn't plant any alsike. It's quiet now, eh? Cattle pasture for this year, it's usually our horse hay field, but you can pan around and you can see there's quite a bit of alsike clover that came up. You can see one of the cows eating. It's pretty decent here. It should hold them for a while, so till we get some of the other stuff hayed, and then they can go up there. But yeah, it wasn't tall enough to worry about for hay. It was maybe ankle height, or some of it was knee high, but it was patchy. So we decided we'd put the cattle on it so we'd have extra feed for our cattle. So, but yeah, this field was affected pretty hard by the drought. So this was our cow pasture for several years. This year it grew up quite nice, so it's going to be taken off as horse hay. There's a little bit of clover along here, but most of it doesn't have much clover on it. And this field hasn't seen nitrogen fertilizer probably for 6 or 7 years. It's been pastured for a few years. We do fertilize. We use 0020, 17 sulfur, 21 calcium. All the fields got fertilized last fall. We do fall fertilization. We do some fall tillage. We're going to try fall seeding as well. We've done that in the past quite successfully, seeding small like clover and stuff in the fall. And we do all our soil testing in the fall in September. We soil test everything to see where we are, how things are working, and just to see what our program and to see where we are. But yeah, this is going to go up for horse hay. you know, it's not a bumper crop, but it should be good enough for the horses we have. And my sister's got 2 horses as well, so we put up hay for them. So yeah, so we're out here, a bunch of red clover, some Alsite clover. This was planted last year. I don't know if you can come closer. There's a ton of bees out here. This was all seeded last year. It was oats. The fall before we chisel plowed it. We're a big believer in chisel plowing on our stubble. And then we disc in the spring, and then we leveled it off and seeded it to oats and grass seed with a lot of clover. You can see the grass. Down over here, there's separate seeding of reed canary. You can see some of the yellow flowers, and you can see some of the gray, like that was our canola crop. What it was is actually, it's a weed here, yellow hawkweed, but when you cut, and then next year it doesn't come back, and for silage, this is going to be taken off as silage, so we're not very worried about it. But for this year, this is a decent stand. Up by those trees, we call it the island. It's heavier. It's quite a bit heavier. There's a little thin spot on there, but it's always thin. There's a bunch of rocks on that little hill. So this is the same field. It's a little different back here. You can see, you know, she's just about ready to go. It's quite the setup here. You can see the little trail here out, and then you can see over here. So we're in the bears territory back here. We're about 1.5 miles from the house, so it's definitely bears territory. It's to get in and out of here is pretty isolated, even though we're only 15 minutes from downtown. But it's the bears like it. And this is the same stuff. It got a 0020 17 21 CA, so 100 pounds an acre. So it received 20 pounds an acre of potash, 17 pounds an acre of sulfur, and 21 pounds an acre of calcium. We have sodic soil, so we find that gypsum, the SO Sul4 Plus, seems to help quite a bit. We mix it in with either nitrogen, the urea, or in with potash. But this is the same one. It might have had one application of urea for the oats, but it hasn't seen nitrogen fertilizer for many, many years, probably since 2014. So, but it was pasture for quite a few years. It was really rough too. So we plowed it up, worked it down, and then, like I said, we had clover on it, and then we chisel plowed it in a couple falls ago, and then we seeded it down to this last year. Like we took a crop of oats off last year. So I don't think we can complain on a year like this. You can see over there a fireweed growing, but I mean, and you can see the brome over here and some more fireweed, but the cattle, they like fireweed too. So in fact, across the field you can see a bit of fireweed. So, and the bees, they love fireweed. So yeah, so that's it for now. Like I said, we do all our testing and a lot of seeding in the fall, so when this is off, so it's a lot easier. Yeah. Okay.